Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we finally have some information on the PTS for TU10. Now all this info is coming from the state of game that did happen earlier today, and I pretty much want to go over everything that was mentioned from the specific changes to some of the focus points on TU10 and the PTS that are coming very soon. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible, and also everything I will be talking about, the actual full patch notes, will be available online very soon. So once they are available, I will have them pinned in the comments or like in the description. You guys can check them out because as of right now, they're actually not fully available. But again, this is pretty much the gist of what's happening in TU10 for the PTS. So the first thing that was talked about was actually the release date. So the release date for the PTS is Friday on June 22nd. Now keep in mind, this is for PC players only, which, obviously it's kind of unfortunate for console players, but again, it is PC. The preload actually starts on a Thursday. So if you haven't downloaded the client on Uplay, you can actually start downloading this on Thursday and actually doing the kind of update so you can play this on Friday and not have to wait a long time once everyone is downloading this on Friday. So I would recommend doing this on Thursday as well if you have slow internet, just so the kind of preload can happen and you are available to play on Friday. Now, as the main focus points for TU10 for this PTS are 1. Bug fixes. As you guys know, there's a lot of bugs in the game pretty much everywhere in PvP and PvE, so this patch will be kind of focusing a lot on that. Also balancing, which includes rewards and player power, and also gear, weapons, rewards from the mission, and actually difficulty as well. This will be all kind of getting balanced and changed around for TU10. Now, a lot of people also have been asking about PvP changes and just some new kind of additions to PvP and stuff like that. They are doing a PvP balancing as well in this PTS, so if you are a PvP player, definitely get on the PTS, try it out to see how PvP is on the PTS for phase 1. There is going to be 2 phases for the PTS, so obviously if something is broken in the first phase, hopefully they do fix it by the second phase. So again, if you are a PvP player, definitely get on the PTS, try it out and see if you can see any changes or any improvements to PvP gameplay. Moving down for the specific changes, now keep in mind this is only the top of the mountain. There is obviously going to be way more stuff kind of listed in the patch notes for the PTS in TU10, but this is what we know as of right now from the state of game. So the first thing is exotics. Now the Warlord's exotics are going to be available in the general sources, except the Eagle Bearer and the Bighorn. These are obviously available on the raid and the legendary missions, but for everything else on the Warlord's exotics, you can actually get this from general sources. So what this is target loot for exotic type, also heroic/legendary final bosses, raid bosses, and exotic caches as well. So for example, if you are still missing something like the Lady Death or another Warlord's exotic, now you'll be able to get it from general sources, which will be a little bit easier for you to get that exotic. So yeah, pretty good change in my opinion. If you are still struggling to obviously get something, this will definitely help you out of achieving that. Moving down, the Season 2 and the Raid 2 stuff will also be available on the PTS. So really good news, you can actually try out everything new that's coming from Season 2 and Raid 2, from the different gear to the different exotics and just pretty much everything that will be coming, the different kind of builds you will be able to put together will all be available on the PTS from a special vendor in the White House. So instead of waiting for the Raid 2 or the Season 2 kind of rewards, you can test everything out. Also, almost all weapons are getting buffed in TU10 for the PTS. Now this is a really good approach in my opinion. As you guys know, in the past, whenever there was a major update, sometimes they would nerf certain weapons or certain gear pieces. You could tell they're taking a kind of different approach here and just buffing almost all weapons in the game. So they did say almost all of them. We're not really sure which ones are getting affected, which ones are not getting touched at all. But for the majority part, all the weapons or almost all the weapons should be receiving an improvement in TU10. Also for the gear changes, yes, gear changes will be happening as well. Some of the talents are getting kind of reworked, and some of the just general function of the gear is being a little bit tweaked in the future. So we'll kind of have more information on that once the PTS is actually live. Now moving down, legendary difficulty will be more rewarding in the future. So really good news in my opinion if you are spending your time doing legendaries and, grinding that hard mission that takes an hour or two to complete. The loot drops should be better, and they did say the loot drops from veterans and elites are being improved in the PTS, which is again a really good sign. In my opinion, it should have been from the start like this, because if legendary does take you that long and it is that hard and it takes that much of a teamwork, then obviously the rewards should be good, but they are getting improved in general on the PTS. Up next, no purple loot in higher difficulties, so I am guessing this is kind of included for legendary missions and just heroic difficulty as well. I'm not really sure if it's like for challenging or something like that, but I'm guessing heroic and legendaries, there's not going to be any purple loot, which is really good news in my opinion. I don't think it should have been from the start that you get purples from like heroics, because it obviously makes no sense. If it is heroic, it should be all gold. It shouldn't be like the top tier rewards that you get from like legendaries, but it should have been still really good rewards in general. So again, really good news, no purple loot in higher difficulties. Also, control points will not have loot containers anymore. Instead, the loot was added to the control point itself from like enemies in the control point. The reasoning behind that is, as you guys know, if you did do control points in the past on like heroics, whenever you did open the containers at the end, you would get purple loot, and the scaling of that was kind of not proper. So instead of just scaling that, they removed the containers in general and just kind of dispersed the loot from those containers into the control point itself. So maybe if you kill the boss, you will get more rewards, or just in general, if you kill like the leads or just the NPCs in that control point, that loot will be kind of scattered in there. Moving down, PvP weapon damage and time to kill is being tweaked for the PTS. So as I said, definitely get on the PTS if you are a PvP player. Make sure you test this out. If there is some kind of improvements, if there's not any improvements, let them know on the forums. Definitely give them some feedback. I'm personally not a PvP player too much, so I can't really have too much of an input on that. But again, the weapon damage and time to kill is being tweaked on the PTS. Next up, we have some changes for the vendors. So now the vendors will not sell any purples at level 40. Also, named items have been added to all the vendors, and they also increased the prices for named items as well. This is a really good change in my opinion, and I've been saying this from the beginning, that the vendors should always be selling some good items. It doesn't have to be god roll, it doesn't have to always be the best things, but since they reset every week, they should be selling actually something that is worth kind of looking and kind of anticipating for every single week, that, oh, a vendor might be selling a really good item, and hopefully it does. Not like now, every time you check the vendors now, it's usually all just purple trash that you can't really use for your build at level 40. So this is a really good change. I'm really happy no more purples at level 40, and the addition of named items to all the vendors is just a bonus right there. So if you're missing some named weapons or gear pieces, this will be obviously a little bit easier way to get that item. Next up, exotic caches will be rewarded from weekly projects, which is a really good change in my opinion as well. Not only are you getting an exotic cache from the league, but now you have something to look forward to every single week and actually get on, do the weekly projects, and get yourself exotic caches. Now yes, you will be getting more exotics easier, I guess you could say. Instead of farming for the exotics, you could just do weekly projects every single week. But again, this is something to kind of look forward to every single week, not only to the vendors now, since they did get an improvement, but also to get on, do the weekly project, and get yourself some exotic caches. And last but not least, they actually added the field proficiency caches back after finishing the season. So once you finish the season, after that, whenever you play and you level up, you will be receiving a field proficiency cache instead of nothing as you do right now. So again, really nice change right there for a little bit more rewards for your character. So yeah, that's pretty much everything for the PTS on TU10 that they talked about. Obviously, as I said, there is more items kind of coming and happening, but as of right now, what we know, this is what is happening on the Phase 1 PTS. To be honest, I'm really excited about this. On paper, it seems like the changes are actually really good. From the different balancing to the rewards or the player power itself, I think this PTS should be really fun. I will be definitely playing it. Usually I don't play the PTS too much, but I feel like this one I will be playing a lot and kind of giving you guys some content as well from the PTS. So thank you all so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, also let me know in the comment section below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.